Welcome to the Introduction to Physics A-Level at the Hertfordshire and Essex High School. My name is Mrs Zoe Deadman and I'm Subject Leader for Physics. We are lucky here at Herts and Essex to have a team of 4 physics specialists along with a specialist technician who are able to provide us with an exciting and enlightening experience of their beloved subject of physics. We follow the AQA-A specification for physics. The specification allows us to cover a whole wide range of foundation topics, and it means that the contexts and applications that we choose can bring physics to life. The course helps us to inspire students to have a passion for physics and lays the groundwork for further study in science and engineering. It also owns the skills which are available for other career paths, as it provides problem-solving opportunities, logical thinking, and hands-on practical. In Year 1, we cover the foundation topics in physics, which includes waves and optics, mechanics and materials, electricity. Measurements and errors provides a good foundation for the practical side of the subject. We also study a more contemporary topic, which is particle physics. This allows us to look at more current research in physics and how particles were discovered. In Year 2, we look at further mechanics and thermal physics, fields, gravitational fields, electric fields, magnetic fields, and also nuclear physics. Our option at A-level is astrophysics, which allows us to study cosmology, the use of telescopes, and classification of stars. Experimental techniques and skills are important to us, and throughout the course we cover 12 required practicals, plus a variety of other practicals which ensure the students are able to access the common practical assessments and the core skills that a physicist should have. We use specialist equipment, identifying and dealing with errors, drawing graphs and making conclusions. At the end of the course, there are 3 two-hour papers which assess knowledge, application and skills. To study physics here at Herts and Essex, you'll need a GCSE Maths Grade 7, a Combined Science 7-7 or 7 in separate physics. You will have covered the skills and the content required for the A-Level Physics course if you have studied combined or separate GCSE Science and Maths. The course builds on knowledge and skills gained at GCSE and puts topics into context. Students are required to learn basic definitions, use key equations and mathematical manipulations, but then there is a greater emphasis on how to use their physics knowledge and to problem solve. We use an online resource called Caboodle, which allows students to access resources, videos, exam questions and an online textbook. We also utilise the excellent Isaac Physics resource, which provides extra questions for students to practice. In the past, we've visited the Cavendish Laboratory at Cambridge for lectures on particle physics, and also have been to London for lectures on physics and astrophysics. Some students have also entered the Physics Olympiad to stretch and challenge young talented physicists. A Physics A-level is highly regarded, as success in it means you have gained a plethora of life skills. You could become a theoretical physicist, an astronaut, a dentist, a doctor, a mechanical, chemical or electrical engineer, and your core skills that you gain may mean that you can enter the finance sector as an accountant, advisor or merchant banker. We also have had students which have gone on to study physiotherapy, architecture and law. Here at Herts and Essex we have a 25% to 75% ratio of girls to boys studying physics. The Graaff Generator. Everybody loves a good Graaff Generator. So you can see as the large ball charges up, you bring the small earthing ball close and it discharges, ionising the air. Flying saucers. So here we have the Reubens Tube, to demonstrate to students how we set up a standing wave inside the gas that is inside the tube, and we can adjust the frequency by using the signal generator. You can see the frequency getting higher and the change in pattern. And it's reacting to the pressure inside the gas. Here I have some students from Herts and Essex High School who are going to introduce themselves, and we're going to find out about their experience of physics here.
Hello, I'm Ellis Jones.
And hello, I'm Alex Clement.
What do you find most interesting about your studies so far in physics, Ellis?
I find it most interesting going into more detail on topics which we did at GCSE, and I'm also looking forward to doing the astrophysics optional module at the end of the year.
For me, I find the practicals really interesting. I think being able to see the physical concepts actually happen in real life, it kind of brings it to life and makes it a lot more interesting.
Thank you. And you've obviously both come from different schools, so how did you find the transition from GCSE to Year 12? Ellis?
I thought it was all right.
Anything particularly difficult, do you think?
As long as you work hard and you make sure that you know all of the GCSE things, it's all right.
Yeah, for me it was quite easy as well. Coming from Liverpool with quite a few of my friends as well, made it quite a bit easier, but yeah, it was quite smooth.
And taking physics, it means there are other subjects you're doing as well. What other A-levels are you doing, and do you think there's any connections with physics? Are you going to use them in the future?
So I do maths, further maths, chemistry, as well as physics, and I think that the maths really helps because physics gives a nice practical application to all of the maths that you use, and it helps to see actual use for all of the maths that you're doing.
And I take the same subjects, and I'd have to agree with Ellis there. The maths that you learn really does make the maths on the physics side of the course quite a lot easier, especially in mechanics, one of the modules of the physics course, which there's a lot of overlap with the mechanics in the maths course as well, so it makes it a lot easier essentially studying that bit twice.
Good. And what do you think about if you were going to give some advice to the Year 11s that were coming through to study this subject? What sort of things would you say to them? Is there any preparation that you would recommend that they do?
I think I'd just mostly recommend to make sure that you know all of the GCSE stuff really well before you go on to A-level so that you can kind of build on it all.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Having a solid foundation in the GCSE physics course will make the transition to A-level quite a lot easier, because it is a bit of a step up, but if you know the original GCSE content, it shouldn't be too hard.
And what about what's next after A-level physics? What are you thinking about doing in the future?
I'm hoping to do a degree in physics at a university next year, and then hopefully I'll go on to use my physics knowledge in a job after that.
And the same for me. I want to study physics at university and hopefully go into work with nuclear fusion energy or something interesting like that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can see that node in the middle.
Yeah.
What are you increasing now? At the amplitude, that's it. So you can see that's really nice. Who's the big one? Are you that? I thought it was a description. I do the long one.
Changing that to the first one. Yeah. So that's 3.
We hope you've enjoyed this brief introduction to studying physics at Herts and Essex, and we do hope you can join us to further enjoyment of this stimulating and exciting subject.